Hi there, and welcome to the Y Factor podcast.
Wait, sorry, what are we talking about?
The Y Factor podcast. It's where young elected politicians, or YEPs, share how they're making real changes across Europe.
Alright, I'm in. Let's hear what the future sounds like.
Welcome to Yeps on the Ground, the podcast that brings young voices to the heart of Europe. Today, we are joined by Maksim Sadinov, a Yep from Gabrovo, Bulgaria. He works with the EPP group here at the European Committee of the Regions. And fun fact, we also have at the Committee of the Region, the mayor of your city as a full member. Did you know?
Yes, actually, I know because my involvement with the European Committee of the Regions began thanks to our mayor, Tanya Hristova. She is mayor of Gabrovo municipality, and actually she is leader of the Bulgarian delegation to the Committee of the Regions. She sent me this program for young elected politicians, and she inspired me to apply.
Great indeed. To get to know a little bit better, I wanted to ask you two questions. The first one is, what is your motto in life? So something that guides you both inside and outside politics.
Thank you for your question. That's a really interesting question. And there are a lot of nice mottos and quotes for success and for motivation. But I have one that it's really interesting, and it's a quote that deeply resonates with me. And this is one quote from the 16th U.S. President Abraham Lincoln that says we should be too big to take offense and too noble to give it. And for me, this is a philosophy of leadership and human interaction, because in politics and we as young people in life, there will be always disagreements, criticism, and sometimes challenging conversations. But I believe that true strength lies in rising above negativity, choosing respect over reaction, and staying grounded in your values when emotions run high. And being too big to take offense means having the maturity to not let ego or pride get it in the way of dialogue or progress. And being too noble to give it actually means leading with kindness, integrity, and the understanding that words can build bridges or burn them. And we must choose wisely. The mindset is especially important for us as young people entering politics, because we are not here to fight. We are here to build, to connect, and to represent. And if we want to inspire and trust and real change, we must lead by example with dignity, empathy, and purpose. And that's what I strive for in every role I take on, whether in my city council, in the European forums, or simply in everyday life. And I have one more really interesting, that young people are not the future, we are the present. And I strongly believe that young people must be socially responsible, engaged, and active right now, because we have the energy, the creativity, the courage to drive change. But we need to step up and to take our place at the table, because Europe offers thousands of opportunities, from international programs and youth exchanges to community projects and political initiatives. But it's up to us to grab them, to speak up, to show leadership. And we must be not afraid to be ourselves, to share our opinions freely and boldly. Our voice matters, and not tomorrow, not when we are older, but today.
Of course. That's a very nice message indeed. I really much agree. And my second question would be, when was the first time in which you truly felt a European? So something about your personal experience growing up.
Actually, in many ways, because I grew up with the European mindset at home, even before I fully understand maturely what is being European meant. My family always spoke about values like openness, solidarity, and cooperation. But the moment when I truly felt European came gradually through experience. It started when I was a kid, when I began traveling with my parents across different countries in European Union freely. I remember being amazed by how connected everything felt and how natural it was to move from one country and another with only your ID card. And when I was a student in the high school. I watched how Bulgaria changed before my eyes, modern infrastructure, um, uh, renovated schools, opportunities for education, innovations, and this was not a political project anymore. It was real, visible progress that touched people's lives. And maybe the most interesting part that I mentioned in the beginning of our interview was my first Erasmus project, because being
Yes.
surrounded by young people from all across Europe talking about important issues, sharing our cultures, our food, our jokes, and I suddenly felt that I truly belong to the big European family. This gave me a lot of knowledge. It gave me friends from every corner in Europe, and gave me unforgettable memories and deep sense of European identity.
Thank you so much. This is really inspiring for all of us. Moving into the next section, I wanted to talk about the challenges that now Europe is facing. So the economic uncertainty, the drive toward both the green, the digital transition, and the need to stay competitive in a rapidly evolving global landscape. What are your thoughts on the next steps that regions should take specifically, and what do you think? Do you think that regions and local authorities have the potential to effectively shape a more resilient and innovative Europe?
That's absolutely, actually. I think local and regional authorities are the backbone of Europe's transformation. They're the closest to the citizens. They understand the unique challenges and potential of their communities better than anyone else. And if we want a resilient and innovative Europe, the challenge must begin at the local level. In my city, for example, Gabrovo, I see how much can be achieved through local vision and European cooperation, because as I mentioned, we are on the track to become the first climate neutral city in Bulgaria by
Yes.
2030. And that's not just a slogan, it's the result of strong collaboration between local government, businesses, and civil society, combined with smart use of European funds. And the European Union needs to continue empowering regions with resources, autonomy, and tools for innovation. Local authorities are not just implementers of policy. They are creators of impact. And as a young city councillor, I can say with full confidence that we are ready to lead. In Gabrovo also we have upcoming innovation camps and many other events where young people can engage with interesting ideas. Our country actually has unique resources and talented young people who, with the right support and guidance, can be directed towards building sustainable businesses and communities.
Wow, super nice. This actually links to the next question that I wanted to ask you. What opportunities do you see for young people who want to get involved into regional development? And how the EU can show more support and encourage them in their involvement in shaping the future of their communities? You were mentioning some projects that you're developing in your city. So can you tell me something more about that?
Yes, of course. I think young people are full of ideas. They are full with energy and vision, but often, sometimes they just need somebody to believe in them, to open the door, to push them and to help them spread their potential, creativity, and massive ideas, because we need more mechanisms for meaningful young participation at local level. Young councils, participatory budgeting, direct dialogue with decision makers. The programs that we mentioned, such as Erasmus Plus, young elected politicians, Discover EU, European Solidarity Corps, these are fantastic starting points. But we must go further to involve young people, not just in discussions, but in decision making and implementation. The European Union can support this by investing more in youth-driven innovation, especially in small cities and rural areas. For example, another initiative that can and project that I can mention for my town in Gabrovo, We are creating now digital innovation hub that will connect young people with businesses, academia, and the local administration. There is also a regional innovation center established within the municipality that has incubator for young talents where youngsters can share their ideas, projects, and scientific developments, and they can receive funding from the businesses. They can receive administrative support from the municipality. They can also receive academic support from the university. Also, there are a lot of plans for new laboratories, startup incubators to support young-led projects. Actually, furthermore, we have a really nice developed tech park where students can make their research as analysis. Before a few months, Youth Center in Gabrovo established and opened its doors for young people. And I hope it will become a hub of creativity, dialogue, and civil participation for encouraging young people to be active and to take part in the society with their ideas and innovative spirit. This Youth Center gives platform. Actually, we started a lot of meetings and initiatives with the youngsters because I think it gives platform to young people to be heard and the space where their potential is supported. And actually, Tanya Hristova as mayor also has weekly meetings with them to see and to hear their ideas directly and to help them to realize them in local level.
It's amazing. It's so inspiring to hear that the city is so involved into economic development and digital innovation projects. It's really inspiring and a good example also for other regions and cities across Europe. Given that you saw the implementation and you actively contributed to implement those projects, what was one thing that you learned during these projects that made you change your approach or perspective on issues as economic development or digital innovation?
Actually, after taking part in a lot of initiatives and campaigns, I remembered when I started when I was a student in high school, but now my perspective is completely changed because whenever I work on idea, I ask who can I involve and who else can benefit from this, because when we bring together people from different backgrounds, public officials, students, entrepreneurs, civil society, we find more creative and sustainable solutions. And innovation doesn't happen in isolation. It happens when people listen to each other and share knowledge and work across sectors and borders.
I totally agree. Definitely, definitely. And lastly, my last question, I wanted to ask you on a very personal note, what advice would you give, given that you are a young elected politician, what advice would you give to young people who want to get involved in their communities and leave a mark? And what would be, according to you, the first step that they can take in order to start their career, given that sometimes this space may feel as unwelcoming or out of reach?
My advice is really simple. Just start, even if it feels uncomfortable at first. Don't wait for the perfect moment or someone to invite you in. Show up, speak up, be present, go to a city council meeting, join a local youth organization, volunteer, apply for a program like Erasmus Plus, enter a youth exchange. The first step is always the hardest, but it's also the most important. I know how it feels like to walk into the room where you might be the youngest one, the least experienced, but because I've been there a lot of times, but with every step I took, whether I was organizing events at my university when I was part of the student council, or participating in local initiatives in Gabrovo, or becoming even a city councilor at 21, I realized that age doesn't define your impact. Your ideas, your
Not at all,
values, your passion, that's what it matters. And remember, you don't need to have the answers of all questions. You need to care. Ask questions, stay curious, and surround yourself with people who support your growth. That's the most important thing.
Thank you so much, Maxim. Thank you so much for this wonderful conversation, and also really inspiring for everyone, truly, even also for me. So I thank you personally very much. And to our listeners, thank you so much for tuning in. If you'd like to learn more about Maxim's work, you can read the description below, the episode description. Stay tuned for more conversations with inspiring young Europeans, and don't forget to follow us on Instagram. Make sure to catch our next episode to discover who will be the next host and the next guest. Thank you so much. Goodbye.